Today's Sunshine Note is titled The Middle Man. And the tabernacle of meeting shall move out with the camp of the Levites in the middle of the camp. As they camp, so they shall move out, everyone in his place. Numbers 2:17. Many times I have thought that some of the most boring parts of the Bible are its tedious details. I mean, who really wants to read page after page of Aphaziah begat Methuselah? But the crazy thing about all those details is sometimes they're secretly hiding some of the most fascinating things. For example, at first glance, when you start reading through the second chapter of Numbers, you can get bogged down quickly as it describes where everyone's tent was supposed to go when the children of Israel set up camp in the desert. Judah goes to the north, Dan to the west, yada yada. Basically, the formation of tents forms a perfect square with a tabernacle at the center. But when we compare these seemingly bland details to some hieroglyphics in the tomb of the Egyptian pharaoh Ramses II in Egypt, we actually come up with something that both proves the Bible to be trustworthy and also gives us some spiritual insight. An ancient diagram of this Egyptian king's army was found on the walls of his tomb, showing how he organized his troops' encampment when they were going to war. Archers were on several sides, with the larger horses and chariots protecting the outskirts. All in all, it forms a perfect square, with the king's tent at the very center of the square. Sound familiar? It shouldn't surprise us because Moses was brought up and trained in the house of Pharaoh, meaning he was also trained in the Egyptian methods and techniques of war. So when he takes a large group of people into the desert, he uses the knowledge and skills learned in Egypt to organize them. Even in small details such as this, the Bible is shown to be trustworthy. Notice again what he puts in the center of the encampment, the tent of God. God is the center. This is symbolic of the fact that God, not Moses and not any other man, was their king and leader. What do you put in the center of your life these days? God or something else? What do you give the most time and attention to? If it's not God, it may be time to rethink some priorities. The center of Jewish religion back then wasn't just dogma or a list of rules, it was a person, God himself, and he came and said, I want to bring you back from the brink. I want to be what you value most in your life, because that's how I feel about you. May God bless you today.